Hello, my people. It is your brother Vandor, and I'm coming to you with a simple question today. Did you know that there are dangerous chemicals leaching out into our drinking water, our containers, our plates, our packaging, our cooking substances? Now, if you're probably thinking something along the line of simple Teflon and if I don't use it, it won't contaminate me, you're probably thinking about the old myths. Oh, myths, I say. Let's dive in.
Clean and safe drinking water is a basic necessity that we can easily take for granted in this country. But now a group of unregulated, potentially toxic chemicals, part of American life for decades, they are being increasingly detected in the water of thousands of American communities.
They also last decades in the blood of exposed people, which can cause many health effects. Health effects include complications with pregnancy and an increased risk for problems with the liver, thyroid, and respiratory system. Manufacturers like 3M and DuPont have each settled health claims for hundreds of millions of dollars.
So, my people, you might have already heard about the PFAs that are in our drinking water, that are seeping out from landfills and from other places like DuPont plants. You might have heard about lawsuits and things of that nature. But if you didn't, guess what? I'm here to highlight the situation. So, per and polyfluoral alky substances. These are these man-made substances in which were generally made in the 1930s. They were made commercially mass-produced in the 1930s. However, I think their roots are all the way down. They go all the way back to the 1925 era. So they were available. They were found, discovered in the 20s. 3M was the biggest maker. It was the first maker of these particular chemicals. Now, the only reason I care, and I'm even talking about this, is because really bad, these chemicals, let me pull up my fact sheet, handy dandy. These chemicals are made up of thousands of synthetic chemicals. There are thousands. There's not just one. There's not just two, not just three chemicals. There's a bunch of them, gang load of them. Now, of course, with our modern day research being what it is, even here in the Western societies like the United States, the places who made it and manufactured it first, we are only studying one or two. Now, of course, thousands of these chemicals have now made their way into, double delicious, our drinking water. Double tasty. All right. I hope that these things don't cause problems, and I hope that the amount of people who it's in is low. You know, unfortunately, my handy dandy fact sheet on my Samsung, is telling me that over 98% of the US population has these horrible toxins in their blood. So most likely, I clearly have it in my blood. I'm drinking a little tap water, take showers regularly. That's a problem. The PFAs say, come on, new home, because this is a serious problem. This is why it's a real problem. You know, with a lot of other toxins, a lot of other problems that we have, they naturally get rid of our bloodstream and all those things. They go away. They go away, but the nickname for these horrible, nasty, disgusting toxins are called forever chemicals. Whew. You guys, this is kind of hard and heavy. So we're going to take a quick factual break, and we're going to talk more about these horrible, adorable, forever chemicals. Let's go.
While most states are taking a wait-and-see approach and the federal government moves slowly, here in Michigan, we're committed to working together to root out this contaminant, protect at-risk populations, and drive down exposure levels. No state is moving faster along so many fronts.
Safe drinking water continues to be a major health concern in New Hampshire after the discovery of PFAS contaminants in some groundwater sources, like in Merrimack and Peace International Trade Port. The health implications of the chemical compounds aren't completely known yet, but are currently being studied.
The time they stay in your body varies. Some are longer, some are shorter, but they're all relatively long that they stay in your body, in most cases years.
Say what?
PFAS is polyfluoroalkyl substances, chemical compounds that have been found in industrial products since the 1940s and are now being identified to limit any potential harm, like ending up in people's drinking water.
It say EPA's delay in regulating the chemicals is highly troubling.
I think that the EPA, we need to hold their feet to the fire, because nothing is going to change. Nothing will go forward until they set those limits.
Yolanda Herrera has been advocating for safer drinking water for decades. She says she believes the city of Tucson's assurances that its water is safe and PFAS-free, but says Americans nationwide need to pay attention.
They can't just depend on their neighborhood leader or their mayor to make this change. It's going to take all of us together to go to Congress, to go to the EPA, to make the major changes that need to be done.
Congress has started to take action. In a bipartisan vote last month, the House approved a bill that would force EPA to declare PFAS hazardous and establish a national drinking water limit, requiring water systems to start filtering it out.
Hey, it's your brother Vandor. Make sure to subscribe or check us out on our Facebook page. Thank you for watching. Let's dive in.
What are PFAS? PFAS, or per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, are chemicals used to make products resistant to oil, water, and heat.
Alright, my people, so let's get back into it. I'm just gonna breeze past the most horrible parts of this particular situation. The reason why they're called forever chemicals is because the rate of decay in your bloodstream is extremely slow, meaning that they stay there for long periods of time, decades, longer than even you are probably gonna be here. They're still gonna be in your spouse's or your family or your child's or your baby's or your cousin's blood, because they're in all of us. These forever chemicals are absolutely horrible and detrimental to the health, especially the larger the quantities that they are found in. Unfortunately, in a lot of our drinking water, they are found in over 100 times of safe levels recommended by the EPA. They are linked to, oh my goodness, the rap sheet is nasty. Cancer, horrible. High cholesterol, horrible. Problems with immune function, horrible. Fertility, horrible. And child development, ADHD, all these other chemical imbalances, bipolar, they're linked to all of it. And that's just starting. Kidney, liver damages, all kind of problems have been linked to these specific PFAs. Oh man, these bad boys are nasty. Luckily, the government's got your back. Or do they? Unfortunately, the EPA is slowly moving their feet. A lot of environmental conscious protection of people protester have come out. A lot of activists have come out and said the EPA is intentionally dragging their feet. However, the EPA is saying that they're not. Now, the reason why they have been accused for intentionally dragging their feet is because a lot of these companies are, and when I said a lot, damn it, I lied. Most of these companies are using these horrible EPA deemed toxic chemicals in elevated levels in their packaging. Wow, isn't that crazy? In their packaging for food, for other things, and these things have not been brought to the forefront. Congress has known about these particular chemicals and things of this nature all the way back. They knew about it way back in the day, but guess what? Nothing has been done about it on a high or substantial level. They have limited two or three more super popular, more known PFAs. The one that's come from Teflon, the other one from the non-stick. You know, they've done that. However, I did mention earlier how there are thousands of PFA chemicals. There are thousands of them. They're only regulating 1 or 2 or 3 in our drinking water. They're not even talking or even doing the research on the other thousands of PFAs that there are. This is super disturbing. It has been found in high levels in water systems all over this country. It is super disturbing that they are especially found around military bases and certain manufacturing plants, i.e. 3M, i.e. plastic manufacturing places, i.e. places that put paint on your wall, those kind of places. DuPont, all those places have been found around with high elevations of PFAs in the water supply next or near to their businesses. Isn't that horrible? Hi. What is the federal government doing on this? Well, you should be happy to know that the federal government has no limits on PFAs in drinking water. Oh my goodness. I can't be reading that right. Hold on, let me read that again. No federal limits on PFAs in drinking water. Protection, however, the EPA has, I'm so happy to hear this. So they don't, they're not mandating it like Biden and the vaccine. But you know what? Even though this shit is super dangerous and is proven toxic to 100% of humans, doesn't matter because it's always staying in your blood. It's always staying around, even though it's a dangerous on 100% of level, unlike certain things, the EPA has a recommendation on what it considers safe. Oh, wow. It's so nice to, you guys still recommend stuff. I didn't know the government still recommended things. I thought they just mandate. Oh, that's only when it suits their needs. Now, anything that is going to help you, like the regulation of PFAs in our drinking water, maybe. Do you drink bottled water? That most government officials agencies do. So you know what? If you don't, good. You're a peasant. So anyway, I'm not saying that. I'm trying to draw conclusions. I don't know. I really don't know what the government's thinking, because if I was the government, I would stop mandating fucking influenza fucking virus shots and shit like that. I would mandate that all of the safe drinking water is available for all our people. I would mandate that it be a crime for these companies to still put this stuff out. I would mandate that it be highly regulated, only this one specific thing, nothing to affect with capitalism, nothing to affect with our gains, nothing to affect with fucking with the financial system, just something to help us with our bodies, our health, our, not polluting the environment, not polluting our children. Anyway, my people, I did want to tell you that in June of 2018, the CDC published a major study that found PFAs pose threats up to 10 times lower than even what is considered safe. So, that's crazy. So the EPA recommended a certain number, okay? That number is even super duper low based upon their own foundings and based upon their own research. They said, we should probably be doing way more, but let's just recommend this like super high number of PFAs, and then most companies will pass. Everything will be good, wouldn't be a big story. Wow. And now we wonder why all these cases of illness and all these disease are happening up. I cannot believe that. Now, I did mention how the EPA is only focusing mainly on 2 different types of PFAs. Only the 2, the big ones, but not the problem. The whole problem is they should focus on the whole class of PFAs, not just the small selective number. Now, I am encouraging all independent freelance scientists, all the companies who really want to make a breakthrough name for themselves, please do research on this, because our government is not doing research on the PFAs, the damage, the types of problems that is causing, and especially the different ones, not the just golden two, the EPA. I'm talking about all the PFAs, the newly created ones, since they all were created sometime around the 20s and 30s. So anyway, all these thousands of chemicals were created. I just want to highlight how this has such a connection. This has such a connection to the 1970s, around the 1970s, even before that, the 1900s in general, when gasoline was leaded. You guys remember when gasoline was leaded? Guess what? Didn't happen very long ago in my lifetime. I'm a 90s baby. And gasoline was still being sold and leaded at leaded places in the 90s. They stopped in 1996 completely. But guess what? It was not until the 1970s that the unleaded gas even got introduced, even though they knew back in the 20s. They knew damn well in the 20s that this could be causing problems via studies at the MIT, the famous MIT college. They were doing studies back then. They knew that it was bad in the 20s. And guess what? Businesses kept pushing that shit out. And lead, there is no safe level of lead in the body. Did you know that? Lead is actually a neurotoxin. Did you know that? And guess what? Our government knew. And even worse, it was affecting everybody. It's not something that you can contain. Oh, we're going to put this in the ghetto areas. We're going to put this everywhere with a car, everywhere with a vehicle. So the president and all these other businessmen, they were inhaling that dangerous ass fumes, and money, profits, and things of that nature propelled the leaded gas industry until the manufacturers had to be forced with a choice. When the 1970s happened, and guess what? People started getting health problems left and right. Doctors started linking it to inhalation, to problems with fumes, to problems with lead, elevated levels of lead in the blood. Why? What? Where's this coming from? Maybe our vehicles. Ding! So, you know what? This per and polyfluoroalkyl substance, these PFAs are exactly the same thing. They're a whole nother case of asbestos. It's a whole nother batch of Johnson & Johnson from baby powder, their talcum powder. It's a whole nother batch of that. It's a whole nother batch of cigarettes. It's another cancer-causing agent. It's another agent causing mass destruction in human lives. That is being overlooked because the financial profits or the potential negative gain or losses to capitalist society, i.e. financial gains and financial losses, are outweighing the people's health, that overall benefit. Who the fuck is pushing these fucking jabs? I'm just thinking about this. Like, if these poly substances are so bad, I'm just trying to figure out who is pushing these jabs. Who is Bill Gates? Why all these people is pushing the hell? I'm not saying they're good. Please take them. Never mind. I get off track so much. But I just think about this. Like, these substances are really bad. So, anyway, in conclusion, my people, I'm not trying to keep you here all day. I am extremely alarmed at this PFA situation. I'm extremely shocked at these man-made chemicals, and I'm extremely shocked at the inaction of our government. This is why I stay unaffiliated, because if one party or another party was standing up for the people all the time, if Bernie Sanders was talking about the millionaires and billionaires who are getting sick off our drinking water, I mean, occasionally he says it, but if he was beating it like a broken drum, if he was really upset about it, to the point that he's a super trying to take away, you're doing this and doing that, and stop with the progressive ideas and start with the common sense idea. If he was on that shit, you know what? Oh my God, he would get my vote. All those people would get my vote, but none of those people were on that. Even the holy Senator Rand Paul and all these people, the doctor and all, where are they? Where are they on the PFAs? Because this is the significant issue in our lives. I don't want to hear commercials. If you were in the Michigan drinking area, if you were in the Missouri area in 1996 through 97, you should be entitled to this compensation. If you were drinking or living in this area in San Francisco in 2020, you could be eligible for. I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear our Congress people caring. I want to hear our people who are elected fight for the people, because this is a serious issue. Anyway, my people, I'm going to let you go. I have researched this issue thoroughly, and the issue of PFAs is finally becoming a mainstream issue. I am so glad. I'm so glad we're starting to see it on the news. I'm so glad because this thing has been known for years, and our government's inaction is worse than anything. All of the things that they aren't doing, because this is one of those things. It affects all of us. If you stay in a hotel and you get thirsty and your mouth is dry, and guess what? You had to drink some water, and oh fuck, I have some PFAs in me. Damn, and I was weak in that moment. I had an infection, and now I have these PFAs, and now it's making my body get sick, and now I have cancer. You know, who knows how these things spread? Who knows how our serious illness spirals out of control? But America is clearly not doing well. One thing that we should learn from the COVID crisis is that America's health was not well. Because if you had a pre-existing condition, if you had something going on, if you had anything going on and then COVID came around, we'd know that it hit you harder. We know that it hurt you a little bit more. My people, we should be standing up for the people. Demand more of your politicians. Demand more of the people who you vote for, who you call your leaders. Because this issue of PFAs is not going around. In fact, it is specifically inside of you. It is in your blood, it is in your family, it's in your child and your boyfriend and your wife and your friend. It's in your horse and your dog and your cat. It is in your shower head. It is in your tap water. My people, stand up. Take the power into your hands. Demand more from your congressman. You know what? After this video, I'm feeling empowered, and I'm even going to call my Colorado congressman. My people, stand up for yourself. Thank you for watching this video. More is coming. I assure you the Afghanistan video is getting made. We have so much more to dive into. Let's go. Say what?